Hi everyone, my name is Hutcherson, but you know me as the Hungry Hutch. Today we're going to be making a 3-cheese macaroni and cheese. Now this is not your mama's macaroni and cheese, FYI. I'm gonna say that from the beginning. Do not get mad at me. With mac and cheese, you can kind of use whatever cheese you want, but in this one in particular, we're going to use some freshly grated Parmesan, extra sharp cheddar cheese, and smoked Gouda. Some melty cheeses, some sharp cheeses, some salty cheeses, a little bit smokiness, and then it all sort of mixes together and gives us everyone's favorite comfort food. First, we're gonna start with cooking the pasta. And whenever you make pasta, you wanna make sure the water is at a nice rapid boil and you want it to taste salty like the sea. You always wanna flavor your dishes as you go on. The macaroni is half of the macaroni and cheese, so you want that to have some flavor as well. And you wanna cook it until it's al dente. So that means there's like a little bit of bite, because also we're gonna end up baking this in the oven for a little bit, so it's gonna continue to cook. So you don't want it to be sort of like too mushy and sort of disintegrate into the cheese sauce. For this dish, I chose to hand grate all of my cheeses. Of course, you can buy the pre-shredded stuff in the bag at your grocery store to save a little bit of time. But after you grate all your cheeses, you're gonna move on to making a roux. A roux is a mixture of fat and flour. So your fat can be olive oil, it could be vegetable oil, it could be bacon grease if you want. That's a thing. Or the sort of standard one, of course, is butter. So today we're using butter. And then flour. And you want to use equal parts fat and flour when you're making a roux. So start by putting the butter in a saucepan, let it melt until it becomes a little foamy and bubbly. Add the flour and whisk it together and let it cook for about 30 seconds to a minute. So once that cooks for a little bit, add in the milk and continue to whisk. Bring that to a boil and let it simmer until it thickens. Be sure to continue to whisk that almost constantly, but at least like frequently throughout the cooking process, because you don't want sort of any of the sides to get burnt. The milk has thickened, add in the Gouda and the shredded cheddar cheese. Whisk that together and you'll get the liquid gold goodness that we all love and enjoy. And then a thing that some people may not realize to do is you want to add a little bit of yellow mustard to it. It'll add a nice little acidity to sort of offset all the richness that is the cheese sauce. Add a little bit of salt, some ground black pepper, a little garlic powder, and now we're ready to mix in the pasta. So we're gonna take our drained macaroni noodles, mix it in with the cheese sauce, and then pour it into our baking dish. And now we're almost ready, but there's a cheese we haven't used yet, and that's the Parmesan. So now what we're gonna do is gonna make a nice buttery breadcrumb cheesy topping to go on top. Take some breadcrumbs, some chopped fresh parsley, the grated Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of melted butter. Mix that all together. Add a sort of a sprinkle of salt just because you want to add a little bit of salt to everything. And then just sprinkle the breadcrumb topping over the macaroni and cheese. Take that and put it on top of a sheet pan just in case the cheese sauce bubbles over and then you have some burnt cheese in the bottom of your oven for a little while until you decide to clean it or just let it burn off like I may or may not sometimes do. We're gonna put it into a 400 degree oven. Into a 400 degree oven for about 20 minutes. This way, everything sort of just comes together and becomes one big happy family. And then the buttery crumb topping gets all nice and golden and toasted and the cheese melts and good things happen. All right, folks, so that's it. Thanks for watching. For more recipes and delicious food porn and inspiration, feel free to go to thehungryhutch.com. Follow me on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters at The Hungry Hutch. And of course, be sure to check out Blavity.com. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter and on Instagram at Blavity, and subscribe on YouTube.
Catchphrase or something?
Stay hungry. I don't know.
It might be in that.